Folks, hello. Welcome to Tavern Chat. Um, Joe Goodman has another video talking about the city state. I've gotten to the point where I think I think whatever little fires are going to happen no matter what you do, and maybe you just move on. Just me. But since I've seen so much of Joe now, I looked at the screen and I'm going to myself, he looks like somebody, and I can't place it. And then it occurred to me, Milton from The Simpsons. I'm sorry, Joe. We've seen too much of you, and it's what I'm looking at right now. But all right, would and Michael Curtis comes in later. We're not gonna listen to Michael. Love Michael, but uh, Joe is again talking about the city state.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joseph Goodman of Goodman Games. We recently announced our City State of the Invincible Overlord crowdfunding project for 5e and DCCRPG.
And then, by the way, it's weird not saying Kickstarter because it's on BackerKit. Kickstarter has always become Kleenex, or Xerox me a copy. But in any case, that's why it's a crowdfunding.
In the video you're about to see, some of our product development team is going to tell you about what makes the City State so amazing and why we're bringing it back to 5e and DCC audiences nearly 50 years after it was first released. It really is an amazing setting.
It's pretty cool. It actually it's groundbreaking. You look back at it, and it's certainly lacking in a lot of ways, but for the time, yeah, it was groundbreaking.
But we could have rolled this project out with a lot more clarity.
Understatement.
Now, to be clear, Goodman Games absolutely opposes any sort of bigotry, racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, transphobia. We don't want to support it. We don't want to be associated with it.
And I think he and others at Goodman Games and associated with Goodman Games have said that at this point ad nauseum. Either you believe him at his word or you don't. But at this point, I don't think Joe needs to say any more on it. Honestly, they're taking care of the original backers. They're getting their monies back. They're getting a discount. Is it what the original backers paid for? No, but they weren't going to get that anyway, and you're going to get your money back. So, in an imperfect world, this is about as perfect a solution as you're going to get. So, again, I think Joe should be able to just say that, and the world should move on. But he's not. He's still. I know there's one side that keeps beating the horse. Let it expire.
Our well-intentioned effort to launch this project in a way that refunds backers of a former failed Kickstarter from another publisher kind of backfired the way we announced it.
Well, because they didn't announce that when they announced the project. Again, there were missteps for whatever reasons, overexcitement, overzealousness, jumping the gun. There were missteps.
Rest assured, the funds from this crowdfunding will actually fund refunds to backers of the original City State crowdfunding Finder Edition from 2014.
And I've already put my money, my request in. It's been gotten my receipt, acknowledgement, and I feel much more comfortable dealing with Goodman Games than Judges Guild at this point. Just me. Maybe you feel otherwise. I just feel like Goodman Games has a bit more of a reputation you can rely upon.
Unfortunately, our efforts have been, I didn't clarify them perfectly when we rolled it out, and they've been missing.
Well, the problem is when they rolled it out, there was no mention about the original project. So that was a misstep. It wasn't a lack of clarity. It was a lack of information. But Joe has given that information. Joe has put it out there. It's been put out there for, 2 weeks now? I'm surprised we're still talking about this. I know a lot of my viewers may be like, "Why are you still talking about this?" Well, because Milton's still talking about it.
Characterized by some folks since then. But please rest assured, we stand for inclusivity and diversity. You can read a lot more detail in the post that's linked below, and there's another video link below where we talk about this in even more details. But for now, we hope you will sit back and enjoy as some of the product development team tells you about really what makes the city-state of the Invincible Overlord so amazing and why you might want to check it out when it comes to crowdfunding soon. Thanks.
All right. So again, it switches over to Michael Curtis at that point. And Michael's awesome. All right. And he's a person that you want in charge of a project. I expect good things. Do I worry? Do I personally worry about inclusivity and equity and inclusion in my gaming products that are based on something from the 1970s? I want something that's quality. And if you can give me a high quality product that covers those requirements too, I'll take it. But it usually seems to be that when we try to include those elements, that the quality, as we've seen as a Blotsy, gets put to the side. I'm hoping for more with Goodman. I'll just put it out. I'll put it that way. But I do have faith that the refunds are going to start going out when the monies are coming in. So take it for what it's worth. But my advice to Goodman Games at this point: talk about the project, fine. But you've spoken about it wasn't it wasn't a lack of clarity. It was an omission. You screwed up. We're moving on. Let's just move on. That's just me, folks. Listen, tomorrow morning, I head out to Texas. If you're going to North Texas, I will be there at the hotel tomorrow afternoon. Hope to see you all there. I know a few people have already reached out to me. It's exciting times. And then the following weekend, I'm at Central New York Con. Going to be another awesome con. And then later on the summer, I am not going to be at EggCon. I am not going to be at VengerCon. Wish I was. Both look pretty cool. But there's only so much Tenkar can go around. All right, folks. On that note, be safe, be well. God bless. World is nice. Roll them well. I will catch you all later. Or at North Texas. God bless. Be good.